Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today is part 2 of me exposing my shopping and showing you all palettes and my pile of shame. If you're new here, the pile of shame basically means these are palettes that I bought but I've still never used. So I'm showing them to you to try to hold myself accountable and use what I have already bought and not buy more until I use at least what I have. So if you'd like to see what's in my pile of shame, you want to see what palettes I haven't used yet and maybe talk a little bit about why I haven't used them yet, keep on watching. Before we get too far into the video, if you haven't already, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. I upload videos twice a week. It's totally free to subscribe and I would love to have you back again on the channel. Alright, so just like the last video, which if you haven't seen part 1, I will leave it linked in the cards. I'm going to show you 12 eyeshadow palettes that I've bought, but I haven't used yet. If there's anything in this list that you would like to see me film with, please let me know. I know I filmed with a couple of the Kaleidos palettes. I'll leave those videos linked as well if you haven't seen them, based on request. So totally down to film with any of these. Really need to use them if you're interested. So most of them are indie brands. Who doesn't love a good indie brand, right? The first one is from Sugar Drizzle, which it shocks me. It shocks me I haven't used this because I love Sugar Drizzle. It's one of my, I think my absolute favorite indie brands. They have not just good eyeshadows, but I've also talked on my channel before about their liquid multi-chrome eyeliners. I've got 3 of them. I love them. And the Sugar Drizzle Mini Glow Cube palette, these iridescent shifting eye and face highlighting palette, amazing. So the fact that I haven't used this, I almost didn't buy this to you guys, but it was on sale and they still had some in stock. I was amazed. Trick Roar Treat. It's one of those color stories I thought like, I don't know. And then I watched some videos and was like, ooh, actually. And then it was on sale on top of that. And you know, the rest is history. So it says Happy Halloween on the mirror, which is really cute. This was like a seasonal limited edition thing. I'm not sure if you can get this one or not anymore. But here it is. It's just a 6-pan. It's the smallest palette I have from Sugar Drizzle. And I don't know what's holding me back. I really don't. I'm not sure if it's just like not knowing what to do. However, I look at it and I'm like, but I do know what to do. Like, I would love to do a brown with a yellow or a brown and a green. And then these multi-chromes, like this to you looks red, I see in the viewfinder. But to me, it looks orange. So we've definitely got some duo / multi-chrome goodness in this one. I just need to get into it. And it's this little 6-pan that is so cute. And it's got the little dinosaur on the moon. Like I said, I just think like, because it's 6-pan, I'm like, whatever. And it's not to me like everyday colors. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say it's not everyday colors, that doesn't mean I don't want to wear it to work. I would not be afraid to wear these colors to work. I'll wear colorful makeup. I don't need to do neutral makeup like what I'm wearing right now. But what I mean is, sometimes when I do like green eyeshadow or something like that, I feel like I have to be kind of like matchy with my outfit, if that makes sense. And then I have to plan in that sense. And I'm not always like planning my clothes out in advance for work as much as I probably should to get green matching up with my clothes. I don't know. Am I making any sense at all? I don't know. By the way, I didn't mention, these are not like ranked or in any order since I've never tried them. These are totally just, I almost dropped the next palette. These are totally just 12 random palettes that I pulled that I haven't used yet. And next up, the palette I almost dropped, would have been devastated, from Lethal Cosmetics. Teresa is Lethal. I've tried the first collab, Lethal is Dead, and it was okay. Honestly, like I wasn't blown away. This one, the way it showed up, not impressed. Look how dirty it is. Look at the mirror. And look at like, it's just, there's powder everywhere. So I wasn't impressed really with how it showed up and how messy it is considering I've never used it. But this color story looked a lot more interesting to me than the first palette. And I did want to support Teresa. Love Teresa's channel. If you haven't checked out Teresa is Dead, highly recommend it. She's hilarious. She is more like adult, mature content. So, you know, be forewarned on that with the language. But hilarious content creator. Wanted to support her. I did not pick up the gel liners that went with this collection like I did in the first collab they did. I'll leave my video linked if you're interested in what a journey that was I had with the gel liners. I didn't enjoy them. So I just got the palette this round, but I still haven't used it. And I think it's just out of fear of disappointment, because the first collection, like, I love Teresa, but I was kind of disappointed by the collection. I'm not gonna lie. So I tried it again, you know, I wanted to support Teresa, but I haven't tried it and I think I'm just scared. So if you've tried the Teresa is Lethal palette, give me some confidence in the comments to try this, because I'm scared. I'm scared I won't like it, you guys. Okay, next up from Glamlight is the Michaela Pot 2 palette. So I didn't get the entire collection of this. I ended up getting the big palette, the smaller 10 color palette, which I have tried and really liked, and the highlighter palette, which I have also tried and really like a lot. So this is the only piece, oh my goodness, it will not come out of the box. This is the only piece that I purchased from the collection that I have not yet tried. Now it's got, of course, the thing I love the most about it is this. However, I will say, I forget what video it is, but there's a video of me using the first Michaela palette, and it's got like silver, but the same like shaky, like movable glitter particle, whatever you want to call it, in the front. And somehow like the seal broke on my first one, and it's like making a mess and falling everywhere in the video. And yeah, I don't know what video that is, but I haven't used that palette since then, because I'm just like scared. And so now I'm scared that's gonna happen to this one, but you know, it came intact, same as the first one did. And here it is. Now, this is actually good that I have that, because I've actually been trying to talk myself out of the Blend Bunny Lure palette. Tell me this doesn't remind you of that. At least like the rows of like pink and blue and green, a little bit, right? Am I totally crazy here? And it's got, you know, the shimmers just like the Lure palette does. So I'm trying to tell myself I don't need the Lure palette, because I have this one, I haven't even used it. And I love the quality of the first Michaela palette, I do. I just don't reach for blues and greens and pinks like this a lot, I guess. Which is another reason I don't need the Lure palette, but I don't know, something in my Blend Bunny supporting soul wants that palette badly. But this is really pretty and I should use it, and I just haven't, and I don't know what my deal is with this one, because it's like the same creator and brand that have done a collaboration before, just like Teresa is Dead, except with Teresa is Dead, I know I was disappointed with the first one, and that's why I'm waiting. This one, I love the first one, so I don't know what my deal is with this one, honestly. Next up from Glaminatrix is the Glamorous palette. This one I am a little scared too, because I don't know, like the Nearly Natural or Nearly Neutral, whatever that one, had a great experience with. The Nocturnal I'll leave linked in the cards as well. I have not had a good experience with that one so far, so I think I'm just, again, scared because of other experiences I've had. But I shouldn't be, because that was, I feel like, a one-off, because the You Beauty palette and the Sandra Rose, is that what it's called? The mini, I got that, and those were great. So here is the Glamorous palette if you haven't seen it. And I just need to do it, you know? Like, I love pinks and purples, and you could even get a neutral look with this. This Twinkle Yellow is really pretty too, so I don't know. Tell me, have you used this Glamorous palette? I would love to know. Just a lot of these, I'm like, girl, and I don't know, maybe too, it's like a time thing, because with work, I am very much like, today, I already have been to work and home, and I do a lot of looks like this for work, where it's just very like neutral, and let's see, I used 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 shadows for this, but it was just like a quick, like, something to set my primer, something in the crease, something to deepen up the outside, a couple shimmers, liner. Like, there's not creativity to it, if that makes sense. Like, it looks nice, but there's not creativity to it. And I feel like with a palette like this, you need some time to give it justice to be creative. That's just my feeling personally. So maybe part of it is that, is I don't feel like I've had time to just sit down and be creative and do what I want. And it's okay if it doesn't turn out or look bad. I haven't had that luxury, I feel like, lately. So maybe, maybe soon I will. It's almost April, and you know, school's out in May, so things are a little less busy now than they were, now that I'm not producing and directing a musical, but I'm still busy with 2 show choirs and running 5 through 12 choirs, like at work. It's a busy gig. It's not just teaching during the normal day. It's all kinds of rehearsals outside of the day. So I hope I get to her soon. Next up, we've got a couple Colourpop palettes. This one is the Colourpop All Amethyst palette. And I just love a purple, you guys. Purple and green are my all-time favorite eyeshadows. And this one I got from Ulta because I had some points and they carried it there. And I especially love some of these like cool tone looking palettes of purple. And I think this one would be one that I could use for an like everyday look at work because it is more muted. Again, I'm like, why haven't I used it? I don't know. I just feel like I do have quite a few palettes in rotation. You guys will see if you stay tuned coming up next week, my ranking for March. And I have used a ton of palettes this month. So I think at this point, some of my palettes are just fighting for the chance in rotation because I do have too many at this point, and I just haven't found a time to like fit her into the rotation, so to speak. So again, that's part of the point of this video, is for me to remind myself that I need to fit them into the rotation, and for you guys to request, like, do you want to see a look with this, you know, or any of these palettes? Let me know, because then that'll really give me an excuse to fit it into the rotation. The other Colourpop palette that I bought like right when it released, which is unusual, but they were doing some sort of deal. Do you guys remember? It was like 25 or 30% off if you used like Sezzle or Afterpay or Klarna or something. If you used, you got money off. So I got it, the Aurora Struck palette, because this looks magical. And I love these tiny pan sizes. I wish more brands did these tiny pan sizes. I realized in the monitor on your screen, it does not look tiny, but these are super tiny pan sizes, and I like those the most. I feel like most brands should do that and bring the price point down, because you don't go through eyeshadow like they make you think you do when they sell you those huge pan sizes. It's a gripe I have with a lot of companies. Like, make them smaller. You know, like make them cheaper and smaller. Just my personal feeling. So these are super small pans, which I love, but it's cool tone, it's wintry, it's smoky, it's got purples and greens, my favorite eyeshadow colors. It's one of my items on my bucket list that I want to see the Northern Lights in real life, and I never have, and I'm just really drawn to it. And I think all of those things made me want this palette, but I think it's just like the Amethyst palette. I just haven't like found a moment to fit it into rotation, but I am really excited to try this one. It's beautiful looking, and I've seen really good reviews on it. Okay, next up from Jacqueline Cosmetics is the Strawberry Feels palette. Now, I do have the Luxe Legacy palette, the palette she did as a collab with her mom, and I've tried that one once, I think, and like, it was okay. Like, the mattes were fine. They weren't very pigmented, and the shimmers were like, wah wah, like, I don't mean this in a rude way. Please don't take this in a rude way, but it's a palette my mom would like. And I mean, it's just like the smoothest, non-textured shimmers that are so like, I know some people like that, and that's why I say don't take offense to it. It's just not my personal vibe to me. Like, I want something that's gonna be super sparkly, super dimensional, have texture to it, and maybe that will change with time. But that's what I'm into right now, and that is not what that palette was. So it's kind of made me wait and hold off a bit on this one, but I got them both at the same time. They were half off at Ulta, and I had points, so I ended up spending, I think, like a matter of a couple dollars or cents or something, I don't remember, on these. But here is this palette. It's kind of a one-trick pony to me. Like, you could go pink or kind of orange or berry, like that's about it. I will say though, I think a couple of these mattes could be beautiful blushes, and I do that sometimes. I'll leave linked, I just did a video on the Ensley Rain collab with Brittany Huffman, the Midwinter Dream palette, and I used some of those shadows as blush, and they were wonderful. So some of these could definitely be blush, or like sugar coated, maybe even a highlighter. We'll have to see with how fair I am right now, but it wasn't bad shadow. It was just like okay. And so because of that Luxe Legacy experience, I've been holding off on trying this one. I'm just like, it's probably gonna be okay. I'm kind of noticing a trend as I'm filming this and talking to you guys of, seems like a lot of palettes I'm holding off on, it is because of some sort of experience I had with the brand previously. Not all of them, but a lot of them. I feel like that's a trend here. Am I wrong? Okay, next up is another palette I'm super excited to try. I don't know why I haven't tried it yet. This is from Bella Beauty Bar, and it's the Strange and Unusual palette. And I've heard not a single bad thing about this palette. I myself am strange and unusual is what it says on the mirror. Here is the color story if you haven't seen it. I don't know if I just haven't used this because it feels out of season now that it's not Halloween anymore, you know, but I didn't want to miss out on it. I was worried it was going to be like limited and they weren't going to bring it back, so I wanted to snag it. And there's definitely things I could do that would be more spring. Like I could do a really bright green look with this sandworm topper all over the lid, or something that would be bright and orange that would be more spring-like. So I need to like just ignore some of the other shades if I feel like they're out of season right now, which is silly in itself because you can wear whatever you want, whenever you want. But to me, I think that's what's been holding me back. So need to just do a pretty summer like bright orange or lime green or something like that because these shimmers look delicious. Speaking of delicious, the Danessa Myricks palette. This is the Lightworks Volume 4 Transcendence palette. I've never tried Danessa Myricks ever. And this is my first product from them, and it was pricey, but I got it when Sephora had a sale. And I really want to try it because I love multi-chromes and I want to compare these. These look pretty smooth, not too textured, but I am really excited to try the pressed flakies in the middle and the multi-chrome like water activated liners. I like that. I know some people didn't like that about this palette, but I like that. So again, I could definitely do something like spring-like. It's funny, these things never, when they're multi-chromes, look the same in camera. Like these look straight up blue to me, but they look green on the monitor. This looks like a deep purple, but it looks blue to you. This looks purple to me, it looks blue to you. This looks green to me, it looks orange to you. Like crazy. Multi-chromes are crazy. I know, I'm acting like I've seen them for the first time, but this just looks like high quality, which it should be for the price point, people. So that's gonna be a mix and match with something else too, because I don't usually do a full shimmer look or a full multi-chrome look, so I need to pair it with something. And this one falls more, I think, into the category of what I was talking about earlier. Like, I just feel like I haven't had time to sit down and be creative. And even my weekends lately have been filled either with performances that I'm directing, or like this weekend I am performing and playing flute, which I haven't done publicly, played the flute for a concert in years. So yeah, I just haven't had the time to do makeup and like have it not work out. And it's always like, no, I need this to look good because I'm going somewhere. So summer's coming. I'll get to these. And if not, and you really want to see it, let me know. I'll find a Sunday when I'm like definitely free and can do things, and I'll get it in there. Okay, we're down to the last three. So next up is the Nomad Fêtes de Provence. I don't know how to say that. Here's this Nomad palette. The last few Nomad palettes I have tried, I have not been super impressed with. They've been good, they're not bad, but they're not spectacular, and I have spectacular things in my collection. So that makes me ignore the things that are even good. So, and I got a ton of these palettes from the last Black Friday sale. I think I'm down to now just these last two that I haven't tried yet. This and the next one I'm going to mention. And several of them that I've tried, like the America's Parks, were just okay. Hudson Valley was pretty good. The Monteverde was okay. But again, they're just okay or just good. They're not knock my socks off spectacular. I didn't get the Valentine's Day kind of themed one that they did. People were like, about that one that I saw. A couple people loved it. The new one they just put out with the multi-chromes, it's tempting me. It's tempting me. But back to the palette at hand, because I'm not buying any of that one. I haven't even tried what I have. I love these purples. This is definitely a spring palette. I have no reason to not be pulling this one out soon. Between the pink, the yellow, and the purple, this looks lovely. And I think the deal with Nomad, that is why I think it's just okay, is usually the shimmers. The mattes perform fine. The shimmers are just like, they're just not as sparkly as a lot of the indie brands are these days. And I love a sparkly shimmer. I don't want something just like satiny and kind of whatever, which again, that might be your preference, that might be your vibe, and that might be for you, but I just want a really, really big razzle dazzle personally, gotta say. The other one from Nomad that I bought and haven't used yet is the, what is this? Porentia, I don't know, Paradise Islands palette. The turtles alone sold me on this one. This one also perfect for spring. It's probably been about a year since they released this. But here's the color story. Again, very pastel-y. We do have like this deeper green that you could deepen up a little bit, but we have like really nice purples and some like chartreusey shades, some really nice pinky oranges, more like pastel teal colors. Definitely could pull this one out for spring, but again, I just feel like the shimmers are okay. Like I have to use a glitter primer with these shimmers for them to be passable for sure. Otherwise, it's a no for me. And that's what I'm like figuring out about Nomad, that I'm like, nothing just ever will be the Tokyo palette. Those duochromes, those shimmers, they've never had anything like that again in palettes. Why? I want to know, when you have that good of a formula, why have you not put that out again? That's a crime in itself, Nomad. I say this like Nomad's gonna watch this. But maybe this new one with the multi-chromes will be the one, but I'm just waiting out. We're down to the last one, you guys. This is from Give Me Glow, and it is the Bad Witch Club palette. Now, Give Me Glow, I haven't bought from anymore lately because they are an offender of the huge pan sizes I was talking about. In what world will someone use up this product completely? In what world will you get through this big of a pan size? Now, I do appreciate the big pan size for shades like this, because that could be a blush, depending on your skin tone, maybe that. I personally like a purple blush even, so I could use that. I can get down with that. But like a deep green like that, like unless this is your only palette you're using, which I kind of doubt it with this color story. I just feel like, you know, it's got versatility, but not like only palette in my collection versatility. Why such big pan sizes? Because then that affects the price, and I'm like, it's pricey because of the amount you're getting, but I don't know, I'm just not into that. So where was I going with this rant? I haven't bought from Give Me Glow Cosmetics since I bought this palette. Even though they have other color stories I'm really interested in, I just don't want these big pants, I've realized. And I've got their, I think it's their Olive Martini, whatever that palette is, in the Christmas Day palette. I like the quality. The shimmers are nice. They're not super sparkly, but they are better than your average shimmers, I would say. And they make for really great face highlights if the shades are skin tone appropriate, which these aren't, unless you want to be, you know, a colorful alien, which if you do, good for you. But yeah, I just haven't, and I think because of that, I've just kind of like written off the brand a little bit, which I'm like, I need to stop. I need to stop because they have really good quality. And the theming, right? And this says season fall, which makes me think in the future there will be other seasons coming, but I don't know that. So do you have this palette? Have you used it? Can you talk me into using it? Because I don't know what my turnoff is with this one, what my deal is, but I haven't used it, and I don't know, it looks good. Obviously I bought it, I need to use it, but I haven't. So yeah guys, that is all for today. The next 12 palettes and my part 2 installment of my pile of shame. What do you think? Haven't used any of these palettes. I know it's bad. I have used quite a few from the first video of this that I made, so I have hope that now that I've filmed this and shared with you, I will use some of these palettes, eventually all of them, right? And I've been really good this month. I haven't bought, I don't think I've bought any palettes this month. I'll have to look. I'm gonna do a video that says, like, go through all the stuff I have bought this year because I've been on a low buy, just to show you what I thought were the cream of the crop worth buying since I've been so selective. But that's it for this video. I still have more, guys, that I haven't used. So like this video if you want to see more, leave me comments, and I'll plan on doing a part 3 of this video where I show you another 12 palettes that I bought and have never used. And with that, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you again on the next one. Bye!